Greetings, it's your girl B.A.Y.E Upcycle, and this is hashtag What We Talking. What We Talking is about food and nutrition, and I have been studying chapter 3, which is titled Fat Facts. It has taken me a while to upload this video because the detail is so much, and I'm trying to process it to have a better understanding because there's smaller micro parts about the fat that they share, and I wanted to be able to have a bigger picture before I share everything with you. So once again, I have notes like always, and I did a small little diagram on a page that I'm gonna share with you guys as well. So let's get started. Usually when we hear the word fats, we cringe like, oh, this double chin, the extra tired. We think of fats in a negative sense. But the fats is actually important for our overall health. They provide cushion around our bones when we have injuries. The fats actually help with the skin. Fats help pull through some vitamins through our blood system. Fats also store energy, which is really important for us. A lot of times we're lacking energy, even though we have a lot of fat. I'll get into that detail later. But they say that 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories of energy. Think about that. 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories of energy versus the carbohydrates, where 1 gram of carbohydrates only gives us 4 calories of energy. So that's neither here nor there, but we know everything goes hand in hand and in moderation, and it balances out. So let me get a little bit detail into our fats. Fats are also called triglycerides, and they're made up of 2 chemicals, fatty acid and glycerides. Glycerols. Fatty acids and glycerols. Yeah, I said it right. So a transglyceride is 3 fatty acids and 1 glycerol. That becomes a meaning 3, triglyceride. And there's 2 types of categories for our triglycerides. There's saturated and unsaturated. And we have heard over the years that it's important to have more unsaturated fat than it is to have saturated fats, because the unsaturated fats are a lot more healthier for us. The unsaturated fats are your plant fats versus the saturated fats, which are your animal fats, cheese, the little white parts that are in your meat. And a lot of times what happens is when we have too much like fried foods, too much saturated fats, we tend to get like pimples and stuff because the fats have nowhere to go, and so it comes through our pores. Okay, so let me move on to the diagram so we have a better understanding of what we are talking. Oh, I forgot. I cannot switch the video around. So I am going to go like this with hopes that I think if I hold it like this, there we go. And I'll read it off to you what we have here. So it says fats at the top, and it has saturated and unsaturated. And saturated fats is your animal fats, which is your butters, your creams, your chicken fat, the marble in your red meat, lard, cheese, and eggs. And also, they say there's some plants that have saturated fats as well, coconut, chocolate, and palm oil. Unsaturated fats, the ones that are from your animals, is fish. And the ones that are from your plants are either monounsaturated or monounsaturated or polyunsaturated. Monounsaturated is your olive oil, canola oil, peanut oil, and your unsaturated oils is your walnuts, your sunflowers, your safflower, your soybean, your corn. I feel confident in saying that olive oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil is some oils that we can add to that list. So in the orange, I have a small diagram where the triglycerides is 3 fatty acids and 1 glycerol. The saturated triglycerides or saturated fats has a single bond between all carbons and is solid. This is very important. Your saturated fats are solid at room temperature, where your unsaturated fats has 1 or more carbon-to-carbon double bond and they're liquid at room temperature. And then I just gave a little quick diagram of mono unsaturated, which is 1 fatty acid plus 1 double bond, and poly unsaturated, which is 1 fatty acid and 2 or more double bonds. See that? That's the Palace of Arts back there. It's very peaceful. So you guys know I'm at work and I'm in between waiting for rides right now. So, wow, I almost lost my phone. So, just a quick recap. Fats are actually important in our diet, and fats, some scientists say that we should have about 30% of fats in our diet, and that only 10% of it should be from unsaturated. 10% of it should be from saturated fats. 20% of it should be from unsaturated fats. So let's say you have 10 teaspoons, right? 3 of those teaspoons should be from fats. Of the 3 teaspoons, 2 of those teaspoons should be like an avocado. And 1 of those teaspoons should be, let's say, a piece of red meat. That's how we have to think about it. Or at least that's how I think about it. That's 30%, because 3 of 10 is 30% of 100%, right? So we just want to be mindful when we're intaking fats, when we're intaking grease. Now, mind you, saturated fats can turn to liquid when heat is added. It solidifies when it's at room temperature. That's what's really important, and try not to get confused by it. Like, oh, I have this cooking oil, or this, a lot of people use like Crisco or lard, you know, and it's like, oh, I have this, it's liquid, so it should be fine. No, it's not. When it sits at room temperature, it solidifies. And that's how you know it's a saturated fat. Whereas other things, other oils don't solidify. Grapeseed oil, which is really good to cook with. Avocado oil, which is really good to cook with. Olive oil, and so on and so forth. Sunflower seed oil. So let's be mindful about that to help us, and know that when we take in the fats that is needed, and if we overindulge in these fats, right, that is needed, they have to go somewhere. So they come out in our face, on our backs, wherever we get like these pimples and stuff, they have to find somewhere to go. So fats is good because it gives us energy. It transports vitamins through our body. It helps with the skin. It insulates our bodies from the cold, and it also insulates the body and is a protection for when we have injuries. But overindulging in fats, especially saturated fats, can be detrimental to our health. All right, I hope that I gave it a good shot and gave you guys the correct information and was able to explain that on a level that you can understand it. And all right, chapter 4. Until next time, peace.